Point Park sports fans, we have a special guest here today, a member of the Point Park student media. This is Zac Weiss. He is a host on WPPJ. You'll find him on A to Z Sports, which we'll get into a little bit later. And also he writes for the Globe, covers a lot of the different beats for the campus newspaper. Zac, how you doing today? And great to have you back here on campus.
Doing well, Kevin. Glad to be back. School's just right around the corner, and obviously with school comes Point Park athletics. Lots of fall sports to run through, and lots of successful Point Park teams, not just in the fall, but all year.
I'd like to thank you for coming by today to talk a little bit about Point Park sports and, give fans a taste of what they might expect from your radio program and in the school newspaper. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about the program A to Z Sports. What kind of Point Park sports talk you get into?
Well, A to Z Sports, we currently don't have a date for it. It should be 4 to 6, but we're not sure if it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday yet. However, it'll be myself, Andrew Goldstein, and now Colston Cooper will be joining us as a DJ. Colston did the video work for a lot of the interviews that you saw if you were on our YouTube page. And basically, the way the Point Park stuff works is we'll try to have a guest, whether it's a player, a coach, or a personality, such as whether it be a volleyball player, a coach. Kevin might come in every once in a while. Just discuss the scene at Point Park Sports. How better to hear from Point Park Sports than from an athlete or a coach or a personality themselves. It's just right inside the scenes, right inside the huddle, and it's a perfect way to kind of get a glimpse of the team. I mean, some fans support them and go to their games or matches or whatever the case may be, but what better way to kind of get it than pick inside their head and find out what you can find out from them?
Now, you've been on the air just about every week for the last 2 years. Are there any ways in which you're taking the show to a next level or adding some things for the third year coming up here?
Well, the three of us are meeting actually today, believe it or not, to discuss what changes we're going to make. Obviously, we do have our first guest. It's not a Point Park guest, but we have Kent Tekulve coming in for our first episode. And Kent Tekulve, some of you might remember, is the closer from the 1979 World Series Pittsburgh Pirates team, and currently he does the post-game for Root Sports, which for the Pirates, so if you ever catch him, you recognize him there. So that's a big name. We're trying to get more guests in instead of just us talking and giving our opinions, because if you want to hear our opinions, then you can just follow us on Twitter or Facebook, and that's a great aspect to it as well. But while we do like to mix our talk and opinions, we would like to get guests, whether it's just national, local, Point Park Sports itself, and just hear what other people have to say, because who cares what we have to say all the time? It'd be nice to hear what other people have to say, and again, going back to Point Park Sports, to get inside that huddle and get inside their head a little bit.
Go ahead and tell fans where they can find it. WPPJradio.com, I would assume?
Yes, that's correct. You can listen in on there, and there should be options for you to listen in, whether it's Windows Media Player, your iPod. I believe there's a couple other formats which you can listen to it. A to Z Sports also is on Facebook. You can just click the like button on Facebook, A to Z Sports, ATOZSPORTS. Or you can even follow us on Twitter. I've been pretty active on the Twitter at A to Z Sports WPPJ. There you'll find my opinions on things, just sports news in general, live tweets of whether it be press pass events, whether it be Point Park related, or a lot of golf tournaments I've been at, whether it be that, Pirate games, whatever the case may be. So whether it's Point Park sports, national sports, local sports, you'll find a lot of opinions and analysis and just news in general on the Twitter, so be sure to give that a follow as well.
And you're also a newspaper writer here for the Point Park Globe. You're able to cover some of the teams pretty closely, whether it be for that or for things you're going to talk about on A to Z Sports on the radio side. What are some things you're looking forward to or interested to see about this upcoming fall sports season?
4 letters, KIAC. It's a new conference, it's a new division, it's a new attitude. It's really unknown, to be honest with you, and there's a lot of rankings and whatnot, but you don't really see what happens until you play a lot of these teams and find out how they play, what their tendencies are, and what their personalities are from on and off the court, and you can only see that by playing those opponents, and it'll be interesting to see how a lot of these fall sports teams, winter sports teams, spring sports teams fare in this new league. It's an exciting time to be a Point Park Pioneer player, fan, coach, personality, whatever the case may be, and I'm hopefully along for the ride to celebrate it, and hopefully a lot of success for all the teams. It'd be great to see similar results to last season, being put up in a new league, which shows that, hey, we can elevate into a new league and we can raise our play and we can certainly see what happens. But I'm excited to see what happens there, and I'm also excited just to see how a lot of these teams that had successful seasons, how they respond to those. Can they continue to build the program and improve the program? And I'm sure a lot of Pioneer fans are wondering that as well. Can the volleyball team repeat the success they had? Can the women's basketball team make the national tournament again? Can a lot of the teams that had disappointing seasons, such as cross country, improve and elevate their game? With the new women's soccer coach, can they improve their game and improve their record and perhaps make a little bit more noise in the tournaments? Certainly time will tell, and there's a lot of questions to be answered, but it's a very exciting time again to be a Point Park Pioneer.
Now, a team that you covered closely as on the newspaper side, the volleyball team, I know you're on that beat again for the Globe. I know you've been going to practices here and there in the preseason. What do you see out of that team? What do you expect to see as a newspaper writer there?
The nucleus has returned, and that's very important. This team knows each other's tendencies, and yes, they're bringing in a couple of freshmen and a couple other players here and there that will definitely have roles within this team, but these players really know each other, and obviously they know what they're good at, what their strengths are, and what their weaknesses are, and this team really frustrated a lot of other teams last season. I expect much of the same. They're ranked second in the KIAC, which is great, and obviously a chance to prove experts wrong and make them get to the top spot, and they have a lot of early chances in the tournament they have this weekend, as a matter of fact, so good chance to make some noise early and see where they are as a team and see what they need to work on. But I think the ladies will have another good season as long as they can continue to put the work in that I've seen them put in at practice. But I think the sky's the limit for this team, and I think the sky's the limit for a lot of these teams.
Okay, Zach, last question here. It seems like in recent years, especially last year, on this campus, athletics got some more notoriety, more visibility. Do you think the role of folks like yourself with the sports talk benefits that and helps to pump things up around campus, or what would you have to say about that?
Personally, I don't like to take any credit. I mean, I'm personally just doing my job, which is to try to promote the team, but do it in an unbiased way where I'm trying to cover the team, get inside the athletes and coaches' heads and see what they have to say on certain things. But the coverage definitely helps, and take baseball, for example. Baseball went to the World Series, and they got coverage during Media Day from all the local television stations, and you mix that in with the newspaper coverage from the beat writer here at Point Park, from Post-Gazette, the Tribune Review, and tons of other media outlets, and it makes things much more exponentially greater, because when you look at recruiting down the line, people may choose Point Park because they know that they'll receive the coverage, and they'll also have a lot of success with the team that they're on, knowing that Point Park has had a couple, in baseball's case, a couple good seasons. And I really think that Point Park is really putting itself on the map. It started with the athletic logo and everything at the start of last season, and the teams are really stepping up their game and doing their part to make Point Park great and make their teams improve. And I think that's really helping Point Park in general, because the teams improve, and they can only get better with the more notoriety that they get, and the more clips they get written about them, the more success they'll have and the more successful players they'll have in the future. So I'm really encouraged to see the direction of Point Park sports moving forward, and it'll be great to see in maybe a few years' time a lot of these athletes will make that Alumni Hall of Fame.
All right, very good, Zach. Thanks for taking the time to partake in some Point Park sports talk. It's always good to know that there's people out there talking Point Park sports. We try to proliferate that as much as possible. And thanks a lot. And look for Zach A to Z Sports on WPPJ and also in the Globe. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin.